All right, everyone. Welcome to the Self Advocates of Indiana annual meeting. And I am going to pass things over to Sean Fulton.
Okay, so our priorities are, one is transportation, because we think everybody in Indiana has the right for transportation for employment, and all other aspects of living. Um, Competitive integrated employment goes right along with our mission is to get everybody in Indiana employed in the community and out of workshops so they can have a better life. And in order to do that, you have to have transportation and get to work so you can live on your own or buy your own house. So housing is another one of our priorities. And then the DSP crisis, as everybody knows, is a big problem in Indiana. So we um, advocate for DSPs all the time. So the DSP crisis is one of our big issues that we look forward to helping everybody with disabilities. And nothing about us without us. That means no decisions should be made without people with disabilities at the table and voicing their opinions. So we advocate for people to be on all kinds of boards for the state. So that way, all of these priorities can be faced head on by people with disabilities for people with disabilities.
Okay. Committees and work groups that the SAI board members are on. We are currently on the DDRS Advisory Council. The Indiana Inclusive Institute on Disability Community Advisory Council, the ARC of Indiana Board, Governor's Council with People with Disabilities, Communications Committee, and the Back Home in Indiana Serving Committee. IPASS Commission, Disability and Health Work Group, 1102 Task Force, SAVE,
What's civic?
Civic, the Older Hoosiers, and Caregivers Advisory Committee, and the National Council on Self Advocates. Sorry.
Okay, this is the public policy that we have passed this year. Okay, so the HB 101 state budget includes the disability waivers and footsteps. The HB 1160 pilot program through ETTI to help people with IDD get in manufacturing. The HB 1340 career DSP legacy, the HP 1454 adjusts to aging on acquire a ability account from 26 to 46 and expel a tax credit endowment to hire individuals with employees with IDD, HB 1591, responsibility for schools to decide alternative to scholarship. SBA, SB 35, the responsibility for finance literacy to be taught as a graduate requirement. And SB 486, seclusion and retirement restricts training for teachers. And the SB 1364 update Indiana code to match federal codes on on a service animal.
What we want to do better. Want more education with self-advocates across the state. Want to update critical and training, talk with local groups and find out how we can support them. How can we help? Share updates about your chapters and self-advocates and for your committee with us and share feedback so best representing you on your work groups and committee. Now we have a message from Kim Dodson.
Hi, everybody. It is great to be with you. I wish I could be there in person, but very glad that you reached out to at least have a message from me. I want to just share just how grateful I am for all of the work that you guys are doing and specifically have done throughout 2023. I think you guys have a lot to be proud of. We have worked really hard together to make sure that people with disabilities are at the table in a lot of different conversations. And boy, have we achieved that. I think I hear a lot from several of you of how busy you are, the various committees, task forces, sessions you guys get invited to do presentations. I see you firsthand at a lot of the state meetings. I've seen you participate on panels at conferences and meetings, and you guys are doing great work. And I honestly don't know where the state of Indiana would be without your guys' dedication to being active and participating in so many things. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. I also wanted to just say how grateful I am for the ARC of Indiana and Self Advocates of Indiana working so closely together. It certainly helps that we're in the same office and we get to see a lot of you come into the office every day. But it's more than that. I think from the ARC of Indiana perspective, we very much value what your thoughts are, what your voices are on a lot of different issues. And certainly those issues are increasing through the years. But we're just really grateful that you allow the ARC of Indiana to work alongside you in various ways to move forward the issues that are important to you. One of the things that Andy and I both appreciate so much is the opportunity to get together with your board of directors and specifically your executive committee on a pretty regular basis to kind of talk about issues, what you guys are hearing, making sure that what we're hearing is what you guys think is important and that we're sharing some of your thoughts and opinions on those issues. We never want to be seen as speaking for you, but we want to be seen as sharing your message. And so it's really important to us that we find more time to find just time to meet and talk with you guys. And so I want to be more intentional with that throughout 2024. I know you guys are busy, your schedules are packed, your agendas are packed, but I think anytime that we can get together to again just have a conversation about what's going on. I think it's really important to the ARC of Indiana, and I hope it's important to you guys as well. I hope you see the relationship with the ARC of Indiana as valuable and as beneficial as we do, because we cannot say thank you enough for all of the work that you guys are doing. I am looking forward to 2024, mainly because 2023 has been really, really busy, and I can't imagine 24 being busier. But I think that the issues are changing and the conversations are changing. And so I want to make sure that the ARC of Indiana and SAI continues to collaborate on all of the various issues. I think we're going to be working a lot with the 1102 task force as that starts to come to a close over the next couple of years. I think we also need to be paying very close attention to the election that takes place in November of 24, and making sure that we are working together, one, just to make sure that people who are running for those important offices of governor and those statewide races know about the issues important to people with disabilities. But we also just need to be very aware that a change in administration impacts us greatly. And so even if it's somebody who is already close to us, like the lieutenant governor, there's still a transition that takes place early in 2025 that we just need to be aware of. It will likely turn to a new FSSA secretary, new people at DDRS, and just new people that we'll be working with, trying to reestablish relationships with, and again, talking about the issues. And so we want to make sure we are doing that alongside SAI, and want to include you in all of those conversations as well. So we'll have a lot of meetings leading up to that, taking place, late next year, but it's just something I just wanted to put on your radar. Have a great annual meeting. Again, if there's anything that the ARC can do for you, myself can do for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. I cannot say thank you enough for all of the work and the time and the energy that you put forth in making Indiana a better state for people with disabilities and all of the issues that impact lives. So thank you for that. And again, reach out if I can be of any help. It's great to see you all.
All right. Thank you to Kim for sharing that message with SAI. We are planning on having someone from the Governor's Council be here as well to share some thoughts, but it doesn't look like they are on yet. So we are actually going to skip forward to what is coming in 2024.
All right, so what's coming in 2024? So Governor's Planning Council has given SAI funds for micro grants for some of our chapters. Chapters will be able to apply starting in January and will receive between $500 to $1,000 to strengthen and improve your chapters. Complete update to the SAI website and new resources added. Instead of regional meetings, SAI Board and leadership will be doing chapter visits, something similar to what the ARC of Indiana does. The leadership development training with the National Leadership Consortium on Developmental Disabilities for chapter leaders. Monthly Zoom calls statewide to share news and socialize. SAI e-newsletter switching from quarterly to monthly, and monthly curriculum lessons for chapters.
Resources. Okay, I can't talk today. Resource fairs with connections case management. We do 9 in each beach district, and two in the India area. Resource fairs are opportunity for SAI and to let people know what our resources are, as well as connecting with people and families with disabilities. And we will need volunteers for 2024.
All right, thank you. So it looks like we have Kate Barrow here from the Governor's Council with us. We are so thankful that Kate was able to join us. So I am actually going to pass things over to Kate.
Hello, can you all see me okay?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I can't see myself right now, so I wasn't sure if you could see me. I think it's probably just the way my Zoom is set up right now. So I appreciate the flexibility and really appreciate that you've invited me to be here today. I hope everyone has had a good year so far, and we're heading into 2024, which is both exciting and also filled with a little bit of anticipation of the year to come, and what the council has been working on, and what we are hoping to partner with Self Advocates of Indiana to move forward in our state. So the last year, I think a lot of us know, or if you don't know, that's okay. There's been a lot of changes at GCPD, the Governor's Council for People with Disabilities. And there's been a lot of changes on the council itself as well. We had a lot of vacancies in the last 2 years, and we had to do a lot of revisiting the state statute to make sure that we were meeting the membership requirements for both the state legislation and also the Developmental Disabilities Act. So we spent a lot of time trying to make sure that we had enough volunteers, that we had really good representation from across the state, from both individuals with developmental disabilities and their family members. So that's been quite a process. And I'm happy to say that I think we're almost filled at this point. And I think we're going to have more vacancies going forward, but we're going to continue to kind of do outreach and engagement in the community to connect with new folks that maybe haven't heard about the council before, as well as continue to build relationships with the people that we've worked with for a long time. Do I need to, I just realized I may not have introduced myself, and I apologize. If you haven't met me before, my name is Kate Barrow. I'm the director for the Governor's Council for People with Disabilities. I am a sibling of a person with a developmental disability, and I'm also a parent to 2 children who are autistic and ADHD. So navigating the system from a family member perspective has been, first as a sibling, that's one I guess experience, but now as a parent, that's added another layer. I've also formerly, a very long time ago, worked for the ARC of Indiana, and many of the members of Self Advocates of Indiana I've known for a really long time. So it's always good to reconnect with people that I've met before and feel comfortable with. That definitely helps me know who's part of the group and have some familiarity. I think, Becky, you had asked me to talk a little bit more about what the council has been up to this last year and what we're looking forward to in the year.
That would be great.
Awesome, perfect. So this last year, the council and staff has really worked to realign the council to the Developmental Disabilities Act. That is the federal legislation that creates councils across the state. We kind of got away from our roots in the DD Act over the years. And our federal funders, the Administration for Community Living, really called us on that and said, hey, it's time for you to get back to this. This is what your purpose and your cause is, and we need you to refocus. And so we've spent the last year trying to reconnect and rebuild relationships with our community members, to re-educate people and bring information about the DD Act to our communities. There are a lot of people who have never heard of the council before and what the council does. So we've done a lot of that, as well as to we have a 5-year state plan that sets goals for what we'd like to achieve. And we've spent the last year, we had a lot of goals. We had 5 goals, and they were all really, really good goals. However, we have a very limited amount of money, and in order to make a positive impact, it was recommended by our federal funders that we consolidate or kind of bring together all 5 of those goals in a way that we could more effectively make a positive impact using our funds. So we spent the last year doing that, and we went from having 5 goals down to 2 goals. Those 2 goals still capture what were in those 5 goals. They're just kind of worded differently so that it's more concise. It's just the same plan, but in different words. So that way we can spend our money a little bit more effectively and have really intentional projects. It also allowed us to look at how we were supporting self-advocacy in Indiana and what we could do differently or better to expand the reach of self-advocates outside of just the people that are known to the Medicaid waiver system, so that we're reaching new people that maybe they don't have the same kind of support network. So we've really been focusing on that. We've also been working to help bring disability and developmental disability awareness into diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. So there's been a lot of focus on understanding different identities and different life experiences. And most of the time it's focused on race and ethnicity or language differences or gender identity. And really, disability has been left out of that conversation. And so a lot of our work has been to connect with those people, the leaders in our community who are trying to make those positive changes and help them include developmental disabilities and disability rights in that conversation. Next year, starting in January, we should be posting a lot more of our grant opportunities. We're in a place now where we can start funding additional projects, continuing to build out those relationships, supporting advocacy efforts across the state, and helping to, where we can, build out support so that people can connect to the services that they need to help people build community. So we have natural supports. So these are all ongoing efforts. Those aren't going to change. I'm really excited about it. I think you'll see us a lot more, and I hope that you come to the council meetings, council staff, contact us. And if you ever would like to attend a council meeting and bring up an issue that you feel the council needs to know about, we would love to have you. We'd love to have that topic be brought to council awareness so that the council can start thinking about ways to address the problems. I hope that gives you all an idea of where we are and where we're going, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have if there's time.
Thank you so much, Kate. If anyone does have any questions, go ahead and feel free to unmute yourself. We do have some time. We're actually a little ahead of schedule. So if anyone has questions, you can ask now, or if you're more comfortable, you can email them to me after the meeting, and I'd be happy to pass that information along to Kate. All right, it doesn't look like there's any questions at this time. If you think of something after this meeting, like I said, feel free to email me. You all should have my email address, but I will put it in the chat shortly too. And you can email me and I'll be sure to connect you with Kate. Thank you again, Kate, so much. I know that SAI is really looking forward to continuing our partnership with GCPD in the year to come.
Excellent. And I'll put my contact in the chat as well.
Great, thank you. Okay. You want to do the save the date for Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day at the State House is February the 14th on Valentine's Day. What time does it start?
More details to come.
More details to come in January. Oh, you told me I only had to do this one.
No, I'm sorry.
Thank you to the retiring board members, Ashley Porter North, Courtney Clark, Secretary, Eric Smith, Sergeant of Arms, Megan Berger, at large, Melody Cooper, Treasurer, Nikki Hinkle, President, Sean Fulton, past President.
So it is that time that everyone I know has been anxiously waiting for the election results. Sean is getting ready to announce those. But before he does, I just wanted to take some time to truly, truly thank everyone who ran for a seat on the board. We had such a strong group of candidates this year. Really wish we could have just accepted everyone because everyone was such a strong candidate, so clearly cares so deeply about advocacy and improving the lives of Hoosiers with IDD. So I just wanted to say, I hope that everyone, regardless of how the elections turn out, whether they turned out the way you wanted or maybe not the way you had hoped, that you'll still be involved with Self Advocates of Indiana. There are so many ways to be involved with SAI that are not just being on the board of directors. Please don't be discouraged. If you were not elected, it doesn't mean that you are a great self-advocate. It just means that we had so many wonderful self-advocates who ran this year. So again, just a very deep thank you to everyone who ran for a position on the board this year. And now I am going to hand things over to Sean.
Okay, the results are West Central 2-year term, Iden Grace. Yeah. East Central 2-year term, Rebecca Geist. East one-year term, Julia West. At large 2-year term, Leanne Dewsbury. At large 2-year term, Sherry Stepp. At large 1-year term, Jim Buroff. And Treasurer, Steve Bilby. Secretary, Jessica Reynolds. President, Noah Upchurch. And we are going to have a runoff for vice president between Aaron McGuire and Lexi Westerfield. So that doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's exciting. And then I have a couple of things I want to say to the new board. So as us old people go off the board and the new board comes on, I want to leave you with these words. Coming together is the beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. And then this is a kind of a crazy one because I like Dr. Seuss. So it's called Be Kind, Be True, Just Be You. So that means don't put on a front, just be yourself and you will do fine and kick ass.
All right. Thank you. There are some tears in this room, so I'm a little emotional as well. We are very much going to miss our outgoing board members. Excuse me. Like Sean said, I just can't look at any of you. Like Sean said, we are actually having a runoff for vice president. The SAI bylaws state that in order to be elected, you must receive at least 50% of the vote. Going back to what I said earlier about having just so many incredible candidates, it was just incredibly close. So we are taking the top 2 candidates and then having another election. I'm going to be sending those ballots out this evening. And if you can please return those to me no later than 5 p.m. Eastern time next Thursday. We will be making the announcement on Friday. That time is to be determined. So just keep an eye on your inboxes for an email from me with the new VP ballot and information about when those results will be announced. Thank you all so much. We ended quite early, but I think we got everything we needed to do done. I'll stay on a little longer in case anyone has any questions. Thank you all so much for joining us today.
I do have a question though.